The aroma of lilac once wrapped my soul in warmth. It lingered on Emily's skin, woven into her hair products and the fabric softener she chose for our clothes. It was the very essence of our shared home. Now even a trace of that scent churns my stomach with a sharp, bitter ache. A cruel reminder of everything I've lost, everything she destroyed. I'm not one for melodrama, but when your life turns into a tragedy, a hint of theatrics feels almost justified. We were bound in marriage for 7 years. Years filled with shared dreams, peaceful mornings with steaming coffee, and hearty laughter echoing through our humble house. We weren't a flawless fairy tale couple. We faced challenges, argued over money, bickered about whose turn it was to wash the dishes, but we always found our way back to one another, grounded by love and unwavering trust. Or so I thought. The unraveling began on a day etched in my memory, when my world started to tilt. Emily became distant, her mind elsewhere. The spark in her eyes dimmed, replaced by a strange, restless vigor. She'd come home late from work, blaming extra meetings, her excuses delivered with a practiced nonchalance that didn't convince me. A quiet dread took root in my chest, a fear I couldn't fully name. One evening, I glimpsed a text on her phone. It wasn't blatantly suggestive, just a casual "see you soon" from an unfamiliar name. Yet the subtle familiarity in its tone struck me like a punch to the heart. I confronted her, my voice quivering as I held up the device. She brushed it off, accused me of being paranoid, called my suspicions ridiculous, but I saw the fleeting guilt in her gaze, the slight tremble of her lips, the subtle signs I knew so well. I started paying closer attention, truly observing. I noticed the extra care she took with her appearance, the new perfume she wore, the way she startled at every ping on her phone. I became a ghost in my own life, silently watching as my reality crumbled. Sleep evaded me, meals lost their flavor. Each night, I lay next to her, the space between us an immense, unbridgeable chasm. In the darkness, I studied her features, wondering who she pictured when she looked at me. If she even saw me at all. I dug deeper, a painful, soul-crushing pursuit. The meetings weren't for work. They were with a man named Ethan, a gym-obsessed bodybuilder with a smug grin I found in a few online pictures. That "see you soon" message was just the tip of a wretched truth. Their texts were bold, vulgar, a stark betrayal of the woman I thought I knew. I uncovered their clandestine meetups, whispered promises, and a blatant disregard for our marriage laid bare in vivid detail. The truth was a poison, gnawing at my spirit, eroding the foundation of my being. A cold, simmering rage took hold, a quiet fury that burned beneath my composed surface. I wouldn't yell or beg. I would make her feel the full weight of her betrayal, the consequences of her actions. I planned with meticulous care, pretending nothing had changed. I upheld our routine, morning coffees, forced smiles, hollow conversations. I even mimicked intimacy, my touch on her skin now a cold, mechanical gesture. But I was watchful, noting every moment, every interaction. I subtly shifted our finances, opening a new account and slowly diverting funds. I ensured my name was on every vital document, every asset, while quietly removing hers. I consulted a lawyer to grasp the legal implications of her infidelity, the steps I needed to take. It was a deliberate, measured process, like a spark creeping toward a catastrophic blast. The ideal moment came on our anniversary. We were set to dine out, to celebrate our shared past, our love. Emily wore a new dress, a striking red number that seemed more suited for Ethan than for me. I booked a table at the restaurant where we'd had our first date, a place steeped in romance, designed to make anyone feel safe. She sat across from me, a flicker of unease in her eyes, perhaps sensing the depth of her deceit for the first time. I offered a faint, calculated smile that didn't reach my eyes. "I have a gift for you, Emily," I said, my voice unnervingly calm. I handed her an envelope, her name gracefully written on it. She reached for it with eager, shaky hands, expecting something tender. Inside were no roses, no jewelry, no romantic getaway, just divorce papers filed that morning. Her face drained of color, her lips trembling as she stared at the documents. "What's this, love?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. "It's a divorce, Emily," I said, my tone icy. "I'm finished with this charade. I know about Ethan. I know everything." She tried to deny it, her rehearsed lies flowing effortlessly, but I interrupted her. I presented the proof, texts, dates, photos, every incriminating detail I'd painstakingly collected. I watched as her face turned ashen, fear replacing her composure. I outlined my plan. How I'd secured our finances, protected our assets, left her with nothing. I told her I wouldn't make it simple, that I wanted her to feel the devastation she'd caused. You thought you could slip around, have everything, I said, my voice edged with controlled anger. But you missed one detail, Emily, you forgot I was watching. Her confidence dissolved, replaced by the stark realization of her loss. She'd risked everything for fleeting excitement, and was left with nothing. The drive home was silent. I didn't look at her, didn't acknowledge her presence. I pulled into the driveway, walked inside, and began packing my things. I didn't glance back at her standing there, tears streaming down her face, her red dress a glaring symbol of her betrayal. I moved to a small apartment nearby, not too far, just close enough for her to catch glimpses of me, reminders of what she'd discarded. I sold our house, the life we'd built, and kept the proceeds. She was left with nothing. Months later, I rebuilt my life with intention. I returned to exercise, reconnected with friends, rediscovered what sparked joy in me. I moved forward while she remained trapped, her world in ruins. Rumors reached me. Ethan had abandoned her, and she struggled to find a place to stay, reduced to sleeping on a friend's couch, her life in disarray. Good. One day, a mutual friend messaged me. Emily was asking for me, desperate to meet, begging for a chance to talk. A small part of me held on to memories of our happier times, the laughter, the warmth. I agreed, not out of yearning, but to confront her, to affirm that my actions were justified. We met at a coffee shop. She looked weary, her vibrancy faded, her eyes dull and troubled. The moment she saw me, she broke down, collapsing to her knees, pleading for forgiveness. I sat quietly, expressionless, as she poured out her heart, her voice cracking with every sob. She apologized, called it a mistake, swore she loved me. It's too late, Emily, I said, my voice firm, devoid of emotion. Some decisions can't be undone. You made yours. Now live with them. I stood, turned away, and left her weeping in the crowded shop. I felt no sympathy, no remorse, only a cold, quiet satisfaction. My revenge was as fulfilling as I'd envisioned. The scent of lilac still drifts by at times, a faint echo of a past life. It no longer wounds me. It's merely a reminder, a quiet testament that some betrayals are unforgivable. And sometimes, the truest revenge is not just thriving but ensuring the other is left with nothing.